I'm Wes Callihan. I'm the main lecturer on the Old Western Culture series produced by Roman Roads Press, which is a 4-year video course of lectures covering all the classical literature from Homer and the ancient Greeks up until early modern times with Dostoevsky. So going through the great literature of the Western canon of Western civilization in 4 years on that video series. So this course that I'm offering now is Great Books or Old Western Culture for Adults, and I'm condensing that 4-year lecture series into one as an introduction or an overview or a survey for adults, whether they're college students or homemakers or dads with some time in the evening, but any adult who wants to get a kind of an overview of the Old Western Culture series. And so I pick a few books from each of the years that the students might work through when they're doing the whole 4-year video series. So I do Homer and Herodotus and Plato and Aristotle from the first year, and I put that into the first quarter of this 1-year class for adults. And then, Virgil and Ovid and a few others from the Roman year into the second quarter of this year and so on. So it's a 1-year kind of condensed survey of the Old Western Culture series. The reason that I really love teaching this class, or I'm excited to teach this class, is because I love these books. I love talking about them. And anybody who knows anything about my teaching style, which you would get some taste of if you'd seen the Old Western Culture video series, knows that what I love best of all is putting books in into their context, and especially making the connections between the ideas in those books and earlier authors, earlier events, later authors, later events, and finding their place in the whole continuum of Old Western culture, of civilization. So I love the books, I love talking about them, and I especially love making the connections, telling the stories and so on, that bring them alive to people who may be encountering them for the first time and may have felt a little bit intimidated by the name Plato or Virgil or Aquinas. In this course, since it's geared for adults, it meets in the late afternoon and Pacific time, so early evening and East Coast time, so that adults who have a regular workday can still possibly fit this course in. And also, because this course is geared to adults, there are no reading assignments required. Now, I suggest optional readings every week if people want to take a little time and prepare. But given that this is geared toward adults who have busy lives, I plan on spending the time just talking myself, entertaining questions whenever they arise, but simply telling the stories and talking so that people can sit back with their cup of coffee, their glass of wine, and listen to someone telling them the stories without the burden of having to read during the week. So there is no work except coming to the class and listening to me enthuse over what I love to talk about, and hopefully infect my audience with it as well. I've really enjoyed teaching this class in the past. I've taught it many times to adults in the past. I've really enjoyed it. I think that anyone who signed up for this would find it enjoyable, delightful, and so I hope to see many of you coming.